Hey, good evening. I wanted to share an article today, and I can't do that, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. But the article was about how Australia is moving their school system back to a more formalized behavioral system. I guess you could say probably being more strict. I'm going to show you that tomorrow, but I've been teaching as an educator for 19 years, and the interesting thing that I've seen is I have seen the behavioral systems in my school district change. 19 years ago, the expectations for students were higher, and I would say probably higher across the board. I don't know. I've only taught at one school the entire time. And as the years gone on, I would say in the last probably 10 to 5 years, there has been an increased emphasis on a couple of things. An increased emphasis on looking at the trauma of kids. I think trauma is it's a pretty wide umbrella of what it could be. I think some people would say the trauma that some people label that kids have as trauma is not. Some of these kids do come from pretty rough backgrounds, and I'm not the one to decide when is it trauma, when's it not. I'll leave it to you guys. The other thing is the inclusion of restorative practice or restorative justice, and the whole short of that is when relationships or friendships or trust is broken, having a get together with the person who broke that, and then maybe the offender and the one being offended, and having them get together and talk and hash things out, which is good so that the mind can process, right? But it seems like, at least in my experience in my district, is the lean way towards restorative practice. And when it comes to disciplining for behavior, being worried that that discipline is going to negatively impact that kid's enjoyment of school, that kid's behavior even more. It's very interesting. It gets into the topic of behavior modification quite a bit, right? And I believe that we are uniquely created. Humans are cool. We're different from the rest of the animal kingdom, but in our DNA, there is just built in this behavior modification system where we respond to consequences, those that are positive and those that are negative. And when I was in college, we had to go behavioral analysis class, and we had these little rats, and we put them in these boxes called these Skinner boxes. And there was like a water feeder, and then there was a chain or a light, and you would train these rats to kind of go and pull on a chain to get a drip of water or something like that. Hopefully no PETA people are watching this, so you're probably gonna be really upset with them, but I really liked my rat. It was really cool. I named him Rambo. He was like an awesome rat. We were buds for a while. But I mean, human beings, we have this built in, and I'm just saying this because I have kids at home, and I see that discipline and consequences work to shape behavior. Now, not all kids are created the same. One of our kids works really well when you use more positive reinforcement. And obviously, a huge mix is great. Like, why do we work? We work so that we can earn money, right? Why do we not speed down the road? Well, we have a negative consequence coming up. If we get caught by the police, we're going to have to pay a ticket, right? And that prevents tons of people from breaking the law, right? Where would we be if we just had a conversation to be had with one other person who we broke the law with, or did something even worse than speeding with, and then got to go on our merry way? So there's a good combination of, you have to understand what you did wrong, but also the consequences seem to work for most human beings. Granted, I'm going to be the first to say, by and large, it works for the general population. There's always a few exceptions, right? So we're not talking a blanket statement on everyone, but yeah. So that's kind of in preparation of what I want to dive in tomorrow with this article about Australian schools moving back to a stricter policy, and what brought that up in the first place, because I'm interested in that. So if you caught today, great. See me tomorrow, and we'll take a look at the article. If things look rough here, it's because this is just a personal vlog, and I am totally just doing one take. So if I goof up, I goof up. But we'll see you tomorrow.